Hello, this is Intuitive Anna Priscilla. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a little tarot lesson today on the Strength card. This is one of my favorite cards in the tarot. It really speaks to us of inner strength, that we have to go beyond our brute strength and find the inner strength and strength of our convictions and our hearts in dealing with life. But also acknowledge the other side of ourselves, the more animalistic, more aggressive side, because sometimes that's necessary for survival. So I've chosen 5 cards. As you can see here on the top is the Strength card from the Rider-Waite Smith deck, which is the kind of traditional image for the Strength card, but I've also picked some contemporary cards which give us a little different window on this particular card. So as you can see in this Rider-Waite Smith card, we have the woman subduing the lion. She's petting it. The lion's looking up at her. She's looking down at the lion. There's kind of a meeting of the minds. The lion's tongue is out, so maybe it's licking her hand, or maybe it's getting ready to pounce and eat her. But the image of this is that here she is channeling. We can see the lemon scat above her head, channeling a higher power and using this to subdue the lion or our animal or base instincts. You can see she has flowers in her hair and around her. So again, this is nature. So we are tied always to nature, and we are mammals. So we do have, this is part of our own nature. This is not an external force that we're dealing with here. This is ourselves. So I wanted to move on to the Power card from the John Holland Psychic Tarot, because I think this illustrates what I just said, is that here we are. These are 2 sides of ourselves. Here we are with a gray-haired man, indicating wisdom, experience, some mellowing perhaps, some taming of this wild man that maybe he was when he was younger, but he's still there. And this lion has a very, very clear vision. So sometimes you can see that his eyes are more slightly closed. So sometimes we really need that lion. We need that instinct. We need that power, that animal power, because with this older man that is diminished. And he has a purple cloak on, which again symbolizes nobility, spirituality. But our spirituality also has to be married to our human and our animal nature. We have to acknowledge that part of ourselves in order to understand it and not to be prey to it all the time. So I love this image because it really makes it clear that these are 2 sides of ourselves. And that aggression that we feel from others is also coming from ourselves, that we can be just as aggressive and brutal as anyone else. And this we can see at the type of inhumanity and wars that we continually wage as a species. So this is from the Ferenc Pinter Tarot, one of my favorites. Very stark image here. Here we have a naked woman staring into the mouth of this beast. But she's holding it open. She's naked, she's exposed, she's vulnerable, and she's looking straight into the mouth of this lion, this ferocious beast. And she's now all that lion has to do is shut that jaw and pounce on her. She has no defenses. But this is also another image where we have to bare our soul. We have to really look deeply into our naked soul, get rid of all our pretensions about ourselves, to understand this side of ourselves and to come to terms with it and to realize that we can rise above it. But again, the Rider-Waite Smith has kind of an idealized version of this higher self being able to subdue the lion. We really have to look straight into the jaws of danger, and sometimes we have to be the animal in a situation, but we have to know when to use that power, and also how vulnerable we are to it. And we could feel it rising in ourselves, and this in Buddhist meditation helps you to realize You sit with yourself and you realize that's my anger, that's my aggression. But you also realize, no, that's not mine. So sometimes it is coming from somewhere else. This image from the field tarot doesn't have any animals in it at all. Here she has a blindfold on. She's closing her eyes. She's tuning into her own inner strength. And this is related to what I was talking about in meditation. You look inside and you find your inner strength. That your strength comes from within yourself. And that you have it. And that you don't necessarily have to tune into your animalistic side. There's no animals at all in this picture, although her hat or her headdress seems to be on fire. But again, this is a card of meditation, of inner awareness, of mindfulness. And this is really the secret of dealing with the lion. And this last card is the Strength card from the Influence of the Angels Tarot, and this is related to the Rider-Waite Smith. So you can see here, this is an angel, this is a higher spirit, this is also love, subduing hate and aggression, because angels really deal with love. They're the embodiment of love or spirit or light. So the light can overcome the darkness, it can overcome our wilder natures, but also these cards show loving this lion, loving the lion, not putting up a shield against it, but sitting with it and petting it and loving it and subduing it that way. There's another tarot card that shows a woman with a lamb. So again, you're turning lions into lambs. But I think that totally sublimating some of these energies is also a bit of repression. So we have to acknowledge it, love it, make it part of us because it is part of us. So there you are. There's 3 different visions of the Strength card. I think ultimately we have to look within ourselves to find the lion within. We have to acknowledge that this is a strong part of us, and sometimes we may be the prey. We may be the prey. Someone may be hunting us, in which case we have to know how to deal with that. So there's many aspects to this card. I think just looking at it as a unidimensional image of here we are subduing this, I don't think that's powerful enough. This card to me epitomizes power. Physical, inner, spiritual power, maturity, subduing our wilder passions, but realizing we are animals, we are mammals, and we share some of these qualities. And that also gives us our fierceness, our survival instincts, our ability to overcome difficult situations. So thank you for listening. I hope this little lesson made you think a little bit more about the images on some of the cards you're looking at. And also not just accept maybe the message of one deck. It's very useful to look at several different decks with the same card and see how that particular image is treated. So thank you for listening. If you like, please like and subscribe, and I will be back soon.